Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Dirty Dojo. I'm Sifu Z. That's great Grandmaster Itman performing the Mukjang. And this is my Mukjang. This Mukjang was made by the same person that made that Mukjang. They've come a long way. So this is the Dirty Dojo, and we do martial art inspired exercise. This is open to the public. We train for about half hour and then we go on over to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/cfuz, where we specifically work on predominantly Wing Chun training for self-defense and fitness purposes. This is a drinking show. And this is a channel where sandbagging is permitted. Joining us today, if everything goes well with the technologies here, will be Sifu Chad. Justin, out there in Tennessee, if you're there, give me a heads up. Let me know. I'm a little concerned that this screen might not be functioning properly. Let's see. I'll give it a little time. I'll give it a moment. I'll use this opportunity to drink nectar of the gods. I'm going to send this one more time. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to send this out one more time. Send. Invite out one more time. All right. Aloha, everybody. This is the Dirty Dojo. Welcome. This is martial art inspired exercise. I'm Sifu Z, and I'm here in the Sierra Nevada mountains in California. And that there is, drum roll, please.
I'm Sifu Chad. Hello.
You know, I'm envious. I don't have the hat. I do not have the hat. But
Yeah, well, I got just a plain black hat, and then I took the patches that you gave me, and I just slapped it right on.
man, I don't know what is holding why I am not doing that to my Vans hat. I have a Vans hat and I hate advertising. I hate skateboarding. And especially right now.
Oh man. No,
Man.
did you hit the park? Did you hit the park recently?
No, man, I haven't been able to, man. I've got my vertigo has gotten really bad. So but what I do have, I get one of my rollers here. I have a smaller one, right?
Yeah.
And I have a skateboard deck, one of my skateboard decks, and I get on that and I use it as a, like a balance thing.
An indoor board, yeah.
Yeah, I just started doing that just so I can kind of keep that going. But then, if I fall, I got the walls or whatever. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
big deal. It's not like falling on the cement and stuff.
Yeah, falling with momentum.
Yeah, dead fall. Boom. Those are rough, man.
Yeah.
Those are really rough. Aloha, Eclipse. Welcome. This is the Dirty Dojo. This is martial art inspired self defense to the masses. To the masses. Uh, we got the sandbag here. This is, like I said, one of the few places you can go where sandbagging is allowed. I forget what the term sandbagging means psychologically. Do you remember? I don't remember.
No,
I
but
think
I
that
assume
means,
it could be quite confused with tea bags.
oh, no, no, dude. I can tell you're living with like young guys. Yeah, you're living with a bunch of young guys. Hey, we can't escape the influence, right? So
Yeah.
we have been doing we have been doing power finger exercise. If you notice, I'm like 80 some years old. I'm so old I can't even count that high. I never learned
Look
to
at those
count that
finger
high.
biceps.
Yeah, but look at that. Look at those finger muscles, right?
The other day I tried to put my ring on, couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Yeah, you had to go get a hula hoop. Hey, that was your Hawaiian joke for the day.
That was a watch.
So we've been doing the finger, right? Now, if you have a sandbag and if you're doing any sort of self-defense training, if you're doing any sort of martial art training, if you're not doing sandbag training, then I'm afraid you're missing out on a certain aspect of martial art training that you ought not to miss out on. Did I say that nicely enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So finger training. I'm doing finger training because I live in a building where there's other people. And as you can see, Sifu Chad is punching his against just light taps. Yeah, he has roommates too. So, he can't get too rowdy with it. But that's okay. That's actually perfect for us. The reason that's perfect for us is because we don't want to hit this thing hard. Every day we want to hit it just slightly. We want to give it little love taps, little like boof, boof, right? With the fingers, with the palms, with the hands, with the edge, right? With the elbows, right? With the shoulder. Just a couple weeks ago, somebody nudged me, old man, like, tried to walk through me because, I'm a 90 something years old, something like that. Um,
On a
and,
younger folk like you.
and he tried to, and he nudged me, right?
Ah,
So oh yeah, I'm like,
like shoulder
yeah,
checked you.
like like almost checked me, but not like, just slightly more like just kind of knew that he was walking through me, kind
Yeah.
of a thing, and not moving out of the way. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, and I even said to him because I like to play fair. I said, paybacks are hell, buddy. So then I saw him and I gave him a little. Poof, and he
Whew,
flew. Yeah,
poor
'cause
guy.
this is the same thing as a 1-inch punch.
It is. Yeah.
Bam. You
Yeah.
know.
Uh, is he okay?
I felt really bad because, I live in a whole town that's tar-rated, if you know what I mean.
Curated.
Tar-rated.
Oh, tolerated. I was like curated.
So yeah, it's poking. This is really good, for that poking, that poking, like, you listen to me, buddy, and you got to develop that poking finger, that yeah, yeah, yeah. Now again, you don't have to just do the fingers, you can do the fist, right? You do the fist, you do the you, but I'm sticking with my fingers. I like this whole finger thing and being able to just get your finger and bam. When I met Grandmaster Chris Chan, that's what he did. He just took his finger and went boof. Ah. And he never taught, well, he kind of, the secrets Chris Chan teaches, but he glances over them. He has two ways of concealing secrets. He'll say it once and never say it again. He'll show it once and never show it again. Or he'll say it over and over and over and over until you won't listen to it anymore. It's genius.
Yeah, ultimate disguise from one spectrum to the other. Huh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a you have to do that with encryption. Even the pinky. Never don't neglect the pinky. Hey, Justin, aloha.
Justin.
We're doing the pinky training. Are we just want to make sure 11? Oh, there it is. Now, hand training is so important with the sandbag. The sandbag is about the density of a human body. So if you get good just touching this in a very powerful way, a very meaningful and grounded way, boy, oh boy, do you have a skill. Right? Now, in Wing Chun, these finger thrusts, Bujit, are very common. If you're going to do Bujit, how strong do you think your fingers should be? Right?
Pretty strong.
Back in Wing Chun days when Wing Chun was first created, there's a good chance that your fingers were probably a lot stronger doing field work, stuff like that, right? Yeah. So, but even then, they had sand training with the sand and whatnot. But then again, yeah, this is all speculation, martial arts speculation. Then again, a lot of people that learned martial arts were rich people that didn't do the farm work, so their hands were weak, right?
Yeah.
That kind of would make sense. Yeah.
It's
So
interesting because right now I'm doing like a whole lot of gardening and like weed and root pulling and stuff, and like my hands are like they were kind of like bear claws before, but now they're like ugh.
yeah, you and Justin both. Justin does a lot of work, landscaping work, and a lot of that kind of work, moving trees and stuff. So
Yeah.
his hands are nice and strong too. Me, on the other hand, I really got to focus on my sandbag training because I pretty much if I'm not doing this these days, I'm programming. It's been nutty.
Yeah, dude. That yeah. Hmm.
I have I
That
have I have some secret videos coming up that I'll be giving you privy to, so you can see where I'm at on the project, on the Z8 project.
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's flying. It's flying. The honeymoon stage is over. Now it's the ugly curse every curse curse for 16 hours straight.
That was fast.
Well, I did my homework, right? I did all the homework up here. So as soon as I got
Right.
all the materials, I was bam, 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 bam. I did it in my head first. The thing I didn't do in my head is learn Python really well. So I suck at Python, but I'm not going to let that stop me from making, you know, some of
I
the
can see it.
highest tech.
I can see it being kind of like hard if like you already because you already knew. was it C plus plus or what was the program you?
Oh no, I've only really learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and yeah, Java. And not. I've played around with Java, done JavaScript. So that's all what's called high level languages. And the languages that I've tried but have never been very successful with was C plus, C plus plus, and a lot of the other ones. So I've ever since I've been on computers, I've been trying to be a programmer, but I just, all I could do is high level programming, no low level programming. So the low level programming is a commitment, man. I mean,
Right.
if you're really gonna do programming, that's all day.
Yeah.
That's why they have teams. So in teams, you just work on little packets or little blocks of code, and you're each responsible for that code, and you all come together. And like I said, for what I'm doing the work of six coders without really being a coder. I can't, right now. I feel like I'm building a house with a rock instead of a hammer.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's like
And mostly I'm hitting my head with the rock, and then every once in a while I'll hit a nail here and there.
yeah, I'm not the most proficient at coding either, but in a few of my courses, I've had to use Python because it's just incorporated with Esri and that ArcGIS software we were talking
Yeah.
about. And like learning Python was kind of difficult because it is like learning how to type another language, you know? Like any small syntax error just screws your entire code.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so like making a map
Mm.
with coding is possible, but it has to, the code has to be correct, right? So
Right.
otherwise the map just won't generate. It'll just show errors or the wrong data feed. But yeah, it's
Yes.
difficult.
Well, what I'm finding out is, I'm always making a comparison between things. Always doing these metaphors. And the metaphor right now is that when you're working and training AI, the hardest thing to do is to get it to communicate effectively.
Mm, yeah, that makes sense.
And people say, AI is becoming like human. No, what are you talking about? It is human. It behaves the same exact way. Humans, it's not a matter of training it, right? It's a matter of getting it to even understand how to communicate before you can effectively train it,
Mm,
right?
mm.
I think that's a very interesting martial art correlation there, you know,
Yeah.
because we harp on as we do about cooperation and communication. Right. And the reason we harp on about cooperation and communication is because that's so damn difficult. It's very difficult. I've been really interested in chaos theory. And with chaos theory, I didn't really understand it until I started really getting into the coding, because now I understand massive amounts of error before you get to a solution, with massive amounts of possibilities of it breaking. And you having to continually fix the thing. That's life. That is life. Hey, Enzo. Aloha and welcome. Yeah, that's life, right? So I've really been able to, this time around, maybe it's because I'm like 97 or something. I don't know. I've been able to focus on this and not have the insistence of, come on, work. Oh no, that's there. But I'm able to deal with that now. Before it's work, work, work. Like
Right now,
getting
it's just
passionate.
like a natural state.
Oh,
Yeah,
and it's such a negative state to be in, right?
really. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you gotta go through it, right? But
Yeah, you do.
yeah, but you have to just say, well, what in life actually works out at the end? None of it. It's a really interesting thing, this chaos theory in relation to computers, in relation to trying to do things. You know that in order to get ahead in life, you got to be busy, and you're not busy in just one thing. You got this going, then oh, now you got to do this, and now you got. It's almost like you're trying to plug a ship,
Yeah,
and nobody escapes that, from the millionaire to the hundredaire.
yeah,
Everybody has to go through that. It's very interesting, and the old saying, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do, how you respond to it, right? And so this thing of doing the coding, well, especially being a bad coder, and I am just like a bad coder. So how do you deal with that? Oh, lots of repetitions. When I first started Wing Chun, I wasn't very good at Wing Chun. How would I fix it? Lots of repetition.
yeah.
And then eventually it clicks. You start understanding the code more.
Hmm.
Um, so can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah. Can
Oh, it won't be because of this. This just died on me for some reason. You
okay.
know, Bluetooth.
Yeah,
We'll talk
dude.
about that. We're
You
not
can
even
get
going to talk about Bluetooth. All right. So,
yeah.
without going too much into Babel here, into Babel
Leg
land,
raise.
let's get some leg raises in. Now, hand training, really important. This is the first thing that's going out. If your hands are weak, your fingers are weak, then you're done. You're out, right? If your arms are weak, well, by golly, get your arms stronger. Do some, do the things that you need to do to get your arms strong. If you don't know what they are, just look up some of the stuff we have online for training, for weight resistant training, or look up any of the other sources for weight training. Okay, now again, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Train at your own discretion and risk. So, we're going to go back and forth with these. Yeah, there's a lot of different leg exercises that you can do. Right? There's this. There's this is really common in jujitsu. Right? It's one of my favorites. Right? Keeping the knees and keeping the ankles nice and flexible. Right? However, we're going to work on the midsection here. This is the focus. So we're really going to focus on bringing the legs down and up. And while doing that, really focusing. If you really flex the abs and not be lazy about this, you can get a really good abdominal work just off an edge of a chair or a bench, right? Right. I'll count out. Let me see how many we should count out. I'm thinking 20. All right, let's do it. I'll count first set. 1, just bring them up and then down. 2, all the way up, and then flex the abs. If you need to, you can lean back a little bit. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Engage the core. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. Yeah. Now, when I get, I'm on a bench, so I get a little bit more of a benefit of being able to have my legs go down a little lower. And the reason that works nicely, if I'm flat, if I'm, well, I'll just say it's different. Okay. I'm not going to say one's better than the other because really, what is it a matter? It's a matter of flexing the abdominals. Right. So, whatever's working to flex the abdominals, then that's working. That's right. But I find that going lower gives me that opportunity to then squeeze, like flex the abs.
Yeah, there's more range.
Yeah. And then here I flex them and now the abs are flexed and I raise the leg because you can just let the abs relax and now you're using sort of predominantly another other muscle groups. You're always using those muscle groups, but you can kind of keep the focus if you flex that muscle group. All right, take us through another set, Sifu Chad.
All right, same style. Same style, just up and down. One, two, three, four, five, six, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Good. All right, boy. Time flies. Time flies. We're going to be going over to patreon.com/cfuz if you want to join our private session. We pretty much do these sessions every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here, California time, 9:30 a.m. I want to talk about one last thing before I have to sign off here with you folks, and that is the mukjang. You know, we live in the modern age, the high tech age, and I have always said there are two things that have been way ahead of their time: the skateboard, which I hate skateboards, and the mukjang, the highest form of martial art technology that exists. Now, if you're training in martial arts, I'm sure you've seen in dojos or kwans, you've seen this. Often it's in the corner, rarely is anybody using it. But it's one of this sandbag and this mukjang are two, regardless of what martial art you're doing, because these things sort of always been in the Shaolin. These are Shaolin tools, really, but they were focused on by us Wing Chunners. And that's because there's so much benefit that comes from mukjang and from sandbag training. Now, the we're going to kind of go over and focus on our mukjang, or what's sometimes called the wooden dummy. We like to call it the wooden man. I don't see anything dumb about this. What's dumb is trying to carry this thing by yourself up and downstairs in order to get it into your place when you have a hernia, right?
Oh,
That's stupid. That's just stupid.
that's
Skateboarding sucks. Right. So we're gonna go into the Muchang. We'll go over some of the forms and stuff. Um, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for doing so if you've already done so during this section. And hey, we've got a couple martial arts, we've got a couple websites that are sort of affiliates, you know, and they are Zeigler8.com. That's our AI affiliate. And we also have, Sifuzi.com. And Sifuzi.com has now turned into a network for us martial artists. We got to figure out a way to emphasize that artist part of the martial artist. Like, oh, you guys you can't fight. Like, yeah, don't need to. Don't need to. What are you, stupid?
yeah.
Don't need to fight. I can't tell you how many times I've been attacked and did not need to fight. Practically all of them, actually. So, yeah, yeah. Boof, boof.
Just a little quick little
Just a little loving nudge. A little loving nudge. I'm sorry. What did you say? Aloha?
Aloha. Did I say that?
Did you say aloha?
Mahalo.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. And for the rest of you, we'll see you over at patreon.com/Sifuzi. See you next week.